Invincible Season 3's animation looks mid. That's not a hot take, but why does it look like that? First of all, I do care about the visual quality of the show. I think that visuals can really bring out the emotion in your story. And if you don't have good visuals, sometimes it can really take you out of the emotion of the scene. For example, when Nolan says this,
"I miss my wife,"
he looks like this in the comics. But the show is just this boring, flat shot of him. That's one of the main problems with the overall art and direction of Invincible, not just Season 3. It's just kind of boring and flat. Also, yes, this video is going to include spoilers of Season 3, up to Episode 7. When Engstrom is saying this to the other marks, he looks like this in the comics, but like this in the show. And I'm not asking for the same level of detail. One's a comic page where you only have to draw it once, and one's animation where you have to draw it hundreds of times. I'm simply asking for the same emotion, because when you see Engstrom like this, there isn't as much punch as there is on the comic. Or even when Sinister Mark is mad at Engstrom, he looks like this in the comic, but the show, he just looks mildly inconvenienced.
Engstrom! You're dead! Ugh, he can't hear you, idiot!
There isn't the same punch or impact. It doesn't really move you as much. Also, the color quality has kind of dropped from Season 1. I mean, look at how the Immortal looks in Season 1 compared to how he looks in Season 2 and 3. It's just, his colors aren't as vibrant. Let's just turn up the color saturation and contrast a little bit. This flatness extends to basically everything as well. The colors are kind of flat. The shading is flat. Everyone looks like there's a light above their heads. It just looks boring and like there's eternal sunlight. Not every single scene looks like this, but 90% of them do. In that 10% where there is interesting shots and there is a lot of color and shading, it's like, whoa, what show is this? Even without the flatness, the general quality of the animation has dropped. The infinite stare glitch, or missing frames, or characters looking really odd, or characters looking like they're on a green screen. It just looks good enough. Now, the boring shots are one thing, but the quality of the animation and the shading and the compositing and everything else is another thing. And that's what I want to focus on. Why is the quality of everything so mid? And I say mid because there are some really bad episodes that are balanced out by some really good episodes, and that just makes everything mid. It's not outright bad like Dragon Ball Super Episode 5, but it's not super outstanding. It's just average. It's mid. With my amateur diagnosis, I'll say it's because of budget and time. Now, when people say budget in terms of animation, they always use it like this general term. It's so weird. It's like whenever something looks bad, people say, oh, it needs more budget. Or when something looks good, people say, this is where all the budget went. It's not Breaking Bad, dude. They're not freaking making sets and buying props and stuff. But just because people can be wrong about their use of the word budget doesn't mean there aren't any budget problems. Because this show does have a budget problem. There is no art budget, or at least it's very tiny compared to the budget that they applied to the voice actors. I'm saying art because the budget isn't just an animator problem, it's an overall artist problem. Just to give you an idea of how bad this is, here's some animator credits. Is this from Episode 1 or Episode 3? This is actually from both Episode 1 and Episode 3. It's just the same staff, copy and pasted over. These same animators also animated Episode 5, and as of Episode 7, they've worked on 3 episodes. There are 3 animation studios on this season. NE4U Inc. did Episode 1, 3, and 5. Tiger Animation did Episode 4 and Episode 7. Maven Image Platform did Episode 2 and Episode 6. That's 3 animation studios for this whole 8-episode season. You might think, well, that's not so bad. Mappa does a whole season by themselves. But the difference is, this show has a group of animators handling multiple episodes at the same time. Mappa has so many animators that the same people who worked on episode 1 might not do work for the rest of the season. That's not to say Mappa is a saint, it's just an example. Another example of how bad the budget is on this video called If I Animated Invincible. Someone who was part of the visual effects / compositing team commented on this video, and he said that there were only 4 people, including the editor, on the compositing / VFX team working on 200 plus shots. Of course you're gonna have stuff that looks like it's on a green screen. There are only 4 people working on it. If you look at the credits on every single episode, here they are. The budget is so tiny in the art department because Amazon just refuses to spend more money on artists. And that makes it harder to make good shots because now you have more work and less time. And time is really one of the biggest aspects in animation, visual effects as a whole. If you don't have time, it doesn't matter if you have Naotoshi Ishida animating. It's not gonna look good because he had no time to make it look good. If you have one group of animators working on 3 episodes, or 4 people trying to color and blend hundreds of shots by themselves, of course it's gonna look good enough. You have to do hundreds of other shots. There's no time to focus on polish. You have to meet that deadline. Less budget means less workers. Less workers means there's more work. More work means there's less time. Less time means there's less polish. Less polish means you get a show that has a drop in quality. Yeah, characters are going to be missing frames. Yeah, characters are going to look weird. Yeah, everyone's going to look like they're on a green screen. Of course you're going to have stuff like Eve no longer having bottom lashes. Or Mark's outfit getting simplified each season. There's just no more time to animate more detail. If you're animating multiple episodes at once, you don't have the luxury of time to go back and fix it. If you're coloring and shading, you don't have time to go fix this light in this scene because you're probably lighting the conquest fight. By making one studio and one group of VFX artists work on hundreds of things at once, you're splitting up resources, which means things aren't gonna look good, which is what I've been saying over and over. But it also means that some things have to suffer so that other things look good. That's why I've been saying that some shots are just good enough. You're gonna do this lighting? Well, the scene is certainly lit. Now I have to go light all this other stuff. You just have to cut corners because you have to meet that deadline. It's like if you're in a time crunch and you're cleaning your room, you're just gonna throw shit under your bed because it's good enough. But the point is, some things had to suffer so that other things could look better, because there's simply no time to make them both look good. Should this have happened? No. Did it have to because there was no time? Yes. I'm not blaming any of these things on the artist though, and I'm also not attacking them personally. You can be a master chef and still make something that doesn't taste that good. These artists probably haven't seen their families in years because god damn. And not only that, I think you can really feel for them. There were some shots that they wanted to make look good, but because there was no time and the team was so small, they couldn't make them look good. The time limit and the resource limit is basically just hindering the ability of all of these artists. They don't have enough time or resources to make something the best that they can. It just has to look good enough because they have to do so many other things. And these artists are putting their blood, sweat, and tears and love into this just to not have it show because they had to split it up across hundreds of other shots. Having so few people work on so many things at once is just creating quantity over quality. That's why you get boring ass shots like this, stuff that isn't detailed, and everyone looking like there's eternal sunlight. Quantity over quality. Give me more episodes, give me more fight scenes, give me more animation. It's a strategy that works because Invincible is only getting more popular and making more money and having more people talk about it and having good reviews. It doesn't matter if Amazon invested $5 into it because they're making $5 million out of it. So they're just gonna stick to that. Unless a lot of people do something about it or say something about it, they're not gonna change their strategy. And they want to go annual with this show.
I think that the release schedule that we're in is much more what we can expect going forward, as opposed to the release schedule we were in between season 1 and 2. We're working at a breakneck pace behind the scenes with Sean O'Neill and Dan Duncan and the entire team to keep this factory moving and keep this show in production so that we can come out at a fairly regular clip. You know, I can't guarantee that we'll be coming back in early February every single year, but I can say that is the goal.
Like, nobody's sitting on the show. Everybody's working as hard as they can. We have a huge team.
So season 4 is just gonna look like this. Just please, man, give them like 6 more months or something. Hire more than 4 people to do all the compositing and VFX work. There's just no reason for one animation studio to be working on 3 episodes. And there's no reason for there to be only 4 people on the VFX team. You are Amazon. You quite literally have infinite wealth. And this is just with 7 episodes being out. Episode 8 might come out and it might be animated by Maven, or it might be animated by Tiger again, or it might be animated by NE4U again, or it might have really good color and shading that wasn't present in the other episodes. I don't know because episode 8's not out yet, and I'm not from the future. But the point is, there's simply no time for quality, because what Amazon wants is quantity. Give me more seasons of Invincible. More episodes. Who cares about polish? Who cares about color? Who cares about shading? Just keep pumping out the seasons. Just keep them coming. Nothing's gonna change unless Amazon is like, okay, you can have more than a year to work on a season. Okay, you won't have to work on 2 seasons back to back, which means you can't polish either. Or, okay, maybe we'll hire more than 5 people. But I don't know. They're Amazon. But that's it. Bye.